Before we started, Chloe said she can't sit back. And why can't you sit back on the sofa?
I'm scared my tits fall out.
You heard, she's scared something's going to fall out.
I think for parents, I really believe that when your child comes out, even if it's completely against your moral code and compass, you need to take a beat. I think the best solution here is to stop believing everything needs a label and a box. So I don't think we should be saying you are gay and you are whatever and na.
Men are good at certain things and women are good at certain things.
What are men good at? If you are watching this and you are wild and you are experimenting and your brightness is bothering the conservatives, just send them a pair of sunglasses because, honeys,
your future is too bright.
Just keep slaying. I mean, kitty cats and all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting podcast of Man in the Arena. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dharmesh Dyer, and I'm the man in the arena. The point of Man in the Arena is to go out in life and experience it. Don't stand on the sidelines and comment, get involved, live your life. So, you've been watching the podcast and we've had some interesting topics, but I think today's one is going to be controversial, to say the least. Now, I'm a scientist, I fly helicopters, I climb mountains, I'm quite angular. But then you get this whole LGBTQIA+, and sometimes I can't keep up with the names, and I'm trying to figure out what is going on. So I've got Chloe, and I've got Casper, and we're just going to have a roundtable discussion. And they did tell me beforehand that it could get quite out of hand. Before we started, Chloe said she can't sit back. And why can't you sit back on the sofa?
I'm scared my tits fall out.
You heard, she's scared something's going to fall out here. So, before we start, just remember this is not a PG
just keep your legs
podcast today. So Chloe.
Yes.
Let's start with, where are you from? Who is Chloe? What is the Chloe dream?
So I'm originally from East London. I grew up here. I went to Clarendon, an all-girls high school. So that's probably where my interest in females, sort of originated. I'm a makeup artist and a sales and revenue supervisor overseas. So yeah, I guess my dream is just to inspire anybody to just, look and feel fabulous and just kind of, I feel like everybody has that sort of internal fire. We just need people that kind of light the flame, and that's exactly what I want to do in life.
So now, just to pick up on that, when you were at school, when did you know that you were into girls? When does a light bulb go off? How does that work? How does it work for somebody who doesn't know these things?
So you get like lots of different types of sexualities, obviously. So technically I'm pansexual, so I'm attracted to anyone. So this is someone who is trans, a female, a man. For me, it's like definitely an energetic thing. And I remember like a lot of the times like when we'd go to a boys' school and, look around, and then I'd be like, well, like that girl's way prettier than any of these boys, So that's what kind of started to make me realize I needed to look a little bit more openly at my specific identity and maybe just, be a little bit more broad spectrum.
I'm from a conservative school, Dale College Boys School in King Williamstown, so this is all new to me, but it's exciting. The whole point of having these discussions is sometimes we are unconsciously incompetent. We don't even know that we don't know. And maybe in Europe and the States and in Canada, the UK, things are much more open, they're more flowing. But here in South Africa, it's a different story.
No, true.
Casper?
Well, originally from Pretoria, moved to East London about nine and a half years ago. Worked in the food industry and then eventually went back to retail and then eventually started my own interior decorating company.
Okay. And how do you fit in this whole LGBTQ colorful rainbow world?
Gay as you can get.
Gay as you can get.
The biggest unicorn in town.
I remember growing up, and most people would remember there was a show called Will and Grace.
Love.
And Will and
Jack.
Grace and Jack 2000. And most of us have seen that. And I just get the impression that the gay guys are so over the top, so flamboyant. Is that so? You reckon
some of them are, but
yeah.
some of them not. You get the masculine ones and you get the feminine ones. So I think I'm an in-betweener.
In-betweener. And then when did this happen? When did you wake up one day, you were playing hockey and you saw the guys and you said, okay, that's a
Well,
stick
the
I
shower
want to
rooms
look
are
at.
quite good afterwards. I think I realized around about mid-standard 7. So.
And that you were in Pretoria at the time. How did that work out?
I know there was a lot of bullying and stuff like that, but all my lesbian friends sorted them out quickly, so they don't beat around the bush.
And how are things in East London? If you go to Vincent Park or Hemingway's and you're having a chat with somebody and you tell them you are a lesbian or you're gay, I mean, what is the feeling around East London?
You go first.
I think it's quite acceptable.
Acceptable, yeah.
I haven't had any problems with anybody discriminating or making any remarks or anything like that. So, I think they like pink money.
Yeah, I think gay men, just to be very controversial here, marginally have it a bit easier with the large group of females that you're around.
Yeah.
But if you're, like for me, it's the opposite, you see. So if there was a large group of conservative males around you, you might have a different energy. We're very lucky because our circle and the people around us are sensational, you know, very open, very liberal. However, I've had it, you know, now I'm dating a female in the town. So obviously I was overseas for a long time, so I could kind of do as I pleased. Nobody really needed to know my business. But, you know, it's East London. So, you know, you walk in here, 29 people are going to know that you walked in here.
Everybody knows your business.
Exactly. So there's been a weird undercurrent from some of my older, more conservative family members, not my friends and the people that I spend the most of my time with. But there's been this weird sort of, I'm not going to accept this and we're not going to talk about it. So it is quite perplexing because if I was just dating a guy, no one would be bothered. Do you know what I mean? So it is, I think the younger generation is remarkably open. Our circle is phenomenal. But I feel very empathetic towards people that have grown up in remarkably conservative backgrounds because it is so black and white. There's no gray area. Yeah.
But now we've got this, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but what is happening here where you've got gender and you've got sexuality, and that seems to be flowing all over the place.
Yeah.
So how does that work now?
I think the best solution here is to stop believing everything needs a label and a box. So I don't think we should be saying you are gay and you are whatever and Like I think if we remove the labels, it becomes so much more encouraging for people to figure them out themselves. Because I mean, my sexuality when I was, 15, 16 and now, you become more and more self-aware, right? So I think it's really hard when we're trying to say to these younger children, like in their teens, identifying their sexuality, what do you identify as? What are your labels? If they do, that's sensational. But I think we need to remove the labeling and the need to put everything in an organized box and let people be disorganized and experiment and
let them be themselves.
Exactly. I think it would be more encouraging.
Jasper?
Same.
You think this is the same?
Yeah. The thing is also, like, I grew up in a conservative home. So for me to come out to my parents was quite tricky.
Yeah. Tell us about how did this happen? Tell us the story.
Okay, so I was dating an ex at the time. And
a girl or a boy?
No, a boy.
A boy, you're dating a boy.
I never had a girlfriend.
How old were you at the time? You've never had a girlfriend.
It's a platinum gay.
Platinum gay. Burning to platinum gay. How old were you at the time?
I was out of school already.
Okay.
Yeah. And I haven't come out to my parents yet. But they've heard stories.
Yeah.
But they never actually approached me regarding it. And then was dating and living with a guy. And then the one day I just decided to hell with that. I took my parents out in public to a restaurant.
Safer.
It's very safe.
Safer.
Very safe. And then we had supper and had drinks. And eventually, just before we left and paid the bill, I said, listen, sorry guys, I have to tell you something. And I just told them. So, yeah.
Are you English or Afrikaans?
Afrikaans and English.
So that, I mean, was that a shock?
Very Afrikaans.
Very Afrikaans. Yeah. Was that a shock to your parents?
My mom, yes. My dad also. But eventually they accepted it.
Okay. So, I mean, you are their son after all.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not. I'm not a different person. What I do behind closed doors.
Yeah.
My business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's say you've got a teenager or a young man or a woman, and they having this conflict inside of their sexuality. Should they talk to their parents? Should they figure it out first?
I think they should be able to feel comfortable to talk to them. Otherwise, just maybe go see someone and talk, get advice. Because if you grew up in a conservative house, it's very difficult.
Tough.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Because the thing is, you can also pretend that you're not gay.
Pray away the gay,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's difficult. So if you don't feel comfortable, go see somebody and get advice from them.
And I would try and, reach out to people that are, LGBTQ plus or allies.
Communities, yeah.
Yes, and get a support network. Because I can imagine, my family is devout Roman Catholic, especially sort of back. And if I was born a decade earlier, it wouldn't have been so accepted.
Yeah.
So I think for anybody who wants to come out, get a good support network first, because you need people to fall back on. Otherwise, you're going to feel incredibly isolated. I mean, that's one of the saddest things about, the younger generation when they do have this, identity crisis or a sexuality or a gender, and they're trying to figure that out. This is unfortunately what leads to a spike in suicides. I mean, it is a huge issue in our community. And so I feel like get yourself a solid support system. I think for parents, I really believe that when your child comes out, even if it's completely against your moral code and compass, you need to take a beat. Don't engage. Don't project that feeling of it being so confusing. Educate yourself first. Say to your child, thank you so much for telling me. Obviously, this is a lot of information to process. Please just give me my time to process, and I'll give you your time to process it. But feel free, like I support you.
Ask.
Yes, I'll come to you with some questions and have that communication, because when you as a parent, when your child's being so vulnerable and telling you something, and that's met with that layer upon layer of negativity, that creates like, oh, something's wrong with me, just because you're attracted to who you're attracted to. You can't fight those feelings forever. And just to be frank, that's why a lot of people get married, have children, they go to church every Sunday, they believe they can pray away the gay and switch off those reflexes.
Pray away the gay.
It comes back. Like, that's why they'll get divorced and then end up marrying a man. And that's okay too.
There are quite a few people like this.
Exactly. That's the thing. They were never safe enough to be,
and they were scared of what society thinks.
Exactly.
I mean,
who cares?
Yeah.
Just be happy. Like, this is it. This is your time.
One of the things that I suppose a lot of parents are probably saying, if their son or their daughter comes and says they've changed their sexuality, they probably say, well, it's a phase you're going through.
Oh my gosh,
No?
I got this so much.
Just them with a bat.
Get this all the time. Oh, it's a phase.
Yeah.
Oh. So what? So
But
what
the
if
thing
it is
you're
a phase?
pansexual, so you're fine.
Multiple. But you know what? Even if it was a phase, let your child experience that. Because rather let them do it when they're young and being explorative. And you can be a part of that, and they can do it in a safe way.
Live their truth.
Exactly. Because I feel like the more you try and suffocate this, I actually feel like it creates a much bigger issue. Totally.
What about the workplace now? If somebody is gay in the workplace, should they tell everybody? Is it not their business?
I don't feel that they're obligated to say anything.
Nobody's obligated.
None of their business.
I mean, I don't feel obligated to tell people what color panties I wear.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, if
you
you
know what I
go
mean?
to a work
Like,
function, if you go to a work function, say you work in corporate business and you're gay, you don't go and say, hi, I'm gay. I mean, you're not going to announce it. It's not an announcement.
Yes.
So if you, say, for example, have a work function and you come with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, people just need to accept it.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, you don't need to announce, oh, by the way, I'm gay or I'm a lesbian. It's just, it needs to be accepted.
Do you know what happens so often to me? A lot of people will be like, have you found the perfect man yet? And then I'm like, ooh, like, where does this assumption come from? Like, I don't know how to explain, but yeah, it's very like assumptive. Like, yeah.
So there's this perception out there, rightly or wrongly, that when the community gets together and there's a powwow, the parties get out of hand. It gets crazy.
That's a fact.
Is it a fact?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Give us some stories, some horror stories or good stories or
Let's
any
talk about the
stories.
unicorn.
Yeah, we can.
You use the term unicorn quite a bit. What's a unicorn?
Well, in this case, we're talking
It's
about
a
an
spirit
actual
animal.
unicorn,
Your
but yeah,
spirit
that's
animal.
generally the spirit
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah, no, we were at a friend's house and they had this what unicorn.
It's like a floaty. You know those like massive floaties? And our friend is a doctor. So she said whoever can mount that successfully will get free Botox. So it was like the Gay Olympics. I mean,
Gay Olympics.
Yeah, it was honestly the best time. But we do get a bit out of hand because there's like a lot of like energy and like, I don't know, we have the best time together. Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's never fighting though.
No drama.
Most people think there'd be a lot of drama in this community because it's emotions.
No, we don't have that. We just
I think we're more understanding and loving. You know what? Because maybe we've had these experiences where our authentic selves weren't loved. So when we're in this like gang, this gay gang, we are very loving and supportive. Like if anyone's going through something or needs help, you know, one of our close friends went through something recently and we were all there at a drop, like not even at a drop of a pin. Like it really is a family. You know, I'm grateful for you guys. Yeah.
What do you think is a misconception that a lot of straight people have about the community?
That we're going to make passes at them.
Oh yeah. Oh
If I hear
yeah.
that, oh, you're going to make a pass at me, I'm going to beat you. Go for it. I think that they feel insecure around gay
Yeah.
people. I don't know.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Like straight men feel like nervous around
Yeah.
you. Maybe it's because you're so beautiful. For me, like a common misconception is that if you are, you know, maybe interested in the opposite gender, that especially like, let me now specifically talk like the woman on woman, woman into woman.
The lesbians.
The lesbians, okay, that you will only be like very masculine or whatever, but there's lots of different like genres, you know, like
You get lipstick lesbians.
No, explain all of this to everybody.
Okay, lipstick lesbians.
lipstick.
Lip is a
It's the
feminine.
one. It's a
Yeah,
feminine
yeah,
that
lesbian.
likes to dress up, makeup, hair,
Lipstick
nails.
Posh.
lesbian.
Yeah, that's the lipstick lesbian.
Okay, now what's the word for the? Is it masculine? Is that too
Stud.
direct?
Stud,
Stud.
Stud,
My partner's a stud.
and then you get disasters.
There's lots of different ones, but yeah.
Different shades of color.
Butch
different-
ones.
Yeah, literally. I
Yeah.
think it's like genres of music. There's all different types.
Yeah.
Same in the gay community. Like, yeah.
Twinks and
Yeah, I mean, I
bears and
can't.
all that stuff.
You know what? Most people, they don't keep up and they don't want to. They just want to live their lives and have a good time. They respect you, you respect
Yeah.
me. But there's a small
Totally.
fringe group of people there that want to make a big deal out of everything. And
Like the negative Nancy.
the negative and politicians, some countries in the world, there's some countries in Africa that are really curbing back on gay and homosexual laws and all sorts of things. But luckily, South Africa is quite a liberal country. You know, it's you are free to go to where you want to go, see who you want to see, do what you want to do. Where does this whole trans movement comes in now? Because I think that's where there's a whole lot of confusion, not just in South Africa, but the whole world. I mean, the other day, somebody at the spa here was dressed as a cat, and they were meowing. And, you know, where do we draw the line? I mean,
I think this whole acronym thing from they, them,
yeah.
it's just some bullshit that people were thinking of when they during COVID.
Thank you so much, because that's conservative. I mean,
No offense to anybody
No,
listening to this.
yeah.
It's so with all the pronouns, can I pronounce myself as a black lesbian? From now on, you need
can
to
you
call me a black
identify as a
lesbian.
black lesbian then?
Exactly. You understand where I'm coming from. So it's a lot of shit.
Now, because I'm younger and have more Botox, I have like a very different
Okay,
opinion.
great.
So I feel like if someone is non-binary,
Okay,
and
what's
wants
non-binary? I
so they don't want pronouns; they want to go as they, them.
But you're not they or them. You're a female. I can see.
Yeah, but
you're
that's
a
the thing.
female.
That's
yeah.
what
'Cause we
I
were taught in
choose to
school they are
identify.
more than one.
Exactly. But this goes back to what I said in the beginning with the boxing and the labeling.
Okay.
I think if someone wants to identify as they, them, and be non-binary, like, I love that for them. Like, why should you stick to the societal narratives if you don't want to?
But the problem we have here now is
Can't they just be called its?
No.
the problem we have here is if you can identify as something and you expect me to respect you, which I probably will. So if for example, I don't have R1 million in the bank. I go to the bank, I go to ABSA and I say, I'd like to take out R1 million. Bank manager says, sorry, Mr. Dyer, you don't have R1 million in the bank. I can't turn around and say, well, I identify as somebody who has $1 million in the bank, therefore I want my money. How does the identifying become real?
Or identify as the hottest man on earth. So put me on the front page of the magazine.
Oh my gosh, you two are so funny and old school. I think you have to just let people be. And like when you come back to your question about trans, I think like living inside of your body and feeling like that is not who you are, do what you want.
But you cannot identify as a cat. I mean, you are not. You're not a cat.
Well, I can talk about like my non-binary friends and like how they won't mind if you use the wrong pronoun. They would just prefer it if you asked, and then if you were, mindful of that, they'd be greatly appreciative.
But there's a whole list of pronouns now. There's they, them, theirs. I can't keep up.
And you don't have to. It's okay. They're not. Nobody's going to be super offended. They'll just let you know.
Okay.
And if you just
like
marginally
I said to Chloe
mindful.
earlier before we started, I said it's LGBTQI plus BP blah blah blah. It's like, can't we just take the whole goddamn alphabet and get it over and done with? I don't know.
Yeah, there has to be a limit somewhere, obviously.
Yeah.
And now you mentioned earlier that you're finding the younger crowd open to everything, but the older you get, the more a little bit conservative you become, the more sitting on the rocking chair, looking at the sunset kind of thing. You sort of know what's important to you and what's not.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with all that shit.
Yeah, I think most people.
I'm like literally gay, straight, bisexual, lesbian, and that's it.
You're a lesbian now. No, I just feel like let people do their thing, man. Like I just feel like we shouldn't be like bothered. Like I don't know. Do you know what I noticed? Like the most, because obviously I like grew up with a gaggle of gays.
Is that the collective term, a gaggle of gays?
Yeah.
Well, we made it that, hey. Like my gay best friends in school that would get like severely bullied by boys, they're all gay now, the bullies. So I mean, why is it bothering you so much, Hannah? Buttercup, there's something inside of you.
The girls also bullied me in high school, or lesbians now.
Yes, you see.
Now you're best of friends.
So I was like, told you so.
You knew. You were like, you see something in me that triggers an unhealed or unseen something in you.
Yeah.
So I'm sensing a little fluidity there.
Yeah, the people with the judgment are usually the ones that's insecure.
Okay.
I think they're angry at themselves because they can't be themselves.
But for you specifically, I think just make peace with not always being fully informed and in the loop with what's happening. That's okay.
Yeah.
Guys, this whole new TikTok thing, I don't even know what to do on there. I actually got told by one of my clients how lame my TikTok is because I just put a photo with some sound. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's okay to not know everything and be like
least you've got a
fully
video.
in the vibe at one. I mean, so it's okay. Make peace with that and just, I think, as I would respect anyone, I think it's just being
Let them be.
open.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
let them run
Absolutely.
wild and free.
Look, like most people, we of the opinion that let other people live and enjoy their life, and
As long as it doesn't influence my life.
Yes. That's where we're going. But what are our thoughts on somebody who wants to change their gender, like physically? You have a young girl who decides she's not a girl, she's 12 or 13. She goes to see a doctor and they do an
Look
operation.
at Bruce Jenner.
And like Bruce Jenner.
Caitlyn.
It's
Caitlyn now. Caitlyn. I mean, I don't know what I'd say. After she became Caitlyn, she won Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
But firstly, she's not a
First
real
chance
woman.
to be on Vogue magazine.
And she wasn't a woman for a year before she won the award.
There's a lot of debates that we can have about that because some people transition, like say from male to female, they'll have top surgery but never bottom surgery. So
top surgery is?
It's basically face, hair, breasts, and that's where it stops.
Yeah.
They never get rid of the original
Genitalia.
Okay. So that's a little where I'm a little bit stuck sometimes. Is if you feel like you're a female trapped in a male's body and you convert, do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to have breasts but you still...
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
the main thing is expense.
Yeah. But I mean, Caitlyn...
Oh, well, the money's not a problem there.
Yeah,
like, I mean, look how happy Caitlyn is
yeah.
now. Like, I feel like this is Caitlyn. And I mean, Bruce used to dress up in Chris's clothing
drag,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then walk down Rodeo Drive like dressed as a female and feel like that glimmer. That's what I'm talking about. There's something inside of you. There's like a little glimmer, and you kind of try to box it and try to break it down. Remember, Bruce was from a conservative family. So when Bruce transitioned and became Caitlyn, I just saw like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you know, and while that might be perplexing and we might not understand the entirety of that situation, Caitlyn looks so much happier. So I feel like if we just give everybody that sort of space, that's
at the end of the day, it's what they want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never say to a person, you can't do this or you can't do that. As long as it's not illegal, then it's fine. But I mean, for example, in the States, we've been seeing a lot of cases. They're really clashing now, the conservatives and the liberals, when it comes to drag queens. You know, they had drag queens reading stories to young children in schools, like preschools and play schools, and it's all...
Actually, a principal got fired because they found out his side hustle is drag, which is, for me, that's infuriating. I mean, children should learn acceptance. You know what? Children are born to love everyone. That hate is taught. That hatred is taught, and we've seen that in South Africa.
And I mean, it shows
to draw
like
a
RuPaul's
parallel,
Drag Race.
we need to stop that boxy, horrible narrative of like trying to control everything, and it's no one is superior, no one is supreme. I also think, what is the issue with drag queens giving the children a little lesson, you know? The gay community, when I started makeup, made me find myself because they were so dramatic and flamboyant. And coming from here, I felt like I had to really rein that in. And with doing the drag and, you know, watching everybody be the most fierce version of themselves, I was like, it's okay for me to elevate to the level I feel like is my authentic self, which is quite dramatic, you know?
Oh,
Look, it's good and fun also.
Yeah, look, if somebody's in drag, if a man dresses as a woman and you go to a show and it's a cabaret and they're singing and they're dancing, that's fun. We're all adults, we're enjoying it. The problem is if somebody's in drag reading a school book to a preschool. I think this is where the parents are getting confused because kids are impressionable.
It's like, I see where you're coming from, that the parents think, oh, but you're literally influencing my
Yes,
child
yes,
now.
yes, yeah.
No, I don't
But
see
are
that.
they all...
Because the thing is, the kids, like I've seen like talk shows also where there's a drag queen sitting reading like books and the kids literally like in awe and like, why do you wear makeup? Why do you wear high heels? Like they're intrigued about it. It doesn't mean they're going to become lesbians and gays. So
point taken, point taken.
But where's the narrative of this being an issue? That's what I need to understand. Because if a heterosexual teacher, let's go feminine, okay, a female, dressed up as Nicholas, whatever his name is, the guy who invented penicillin, and was reading that from the thing, are we going to be touched? It's because we were born and trained intrinsically to believe that being gay is a sin and that is not correct. That's where it comes from. So I think that if they're going to have a drag queen the one day, keep that also loose and liberal. The next day have the female teacher dress up as a man. Let's keep it even and equal, you know. But I think if the teachers are having, or the parents are having a problem with that, it comes from a deeper cesspit of toxic, negative, trashy, McGashy,
really
dated energy, and it doesn't pass the vibe check.
But some are going to argue, and I'll probably say this myself. If they're in school, let the kids just learn, and maybe when they get to high school, they can start looking at this and that. But we're starting to sexualize kids at a really young age. Let them just
past
be
the
kids.
millennial
I mean, they
stage
can
now.
see it anyway on their phones and
On their phones,
YouTube.
TV, they see everything.
I think I will just be the liberal one here. I think you two can be conservative, but I think gradual exposure to multiple different things like religious studies, you know, drag queens, whatever the parallel is, I think it's good. I think it's good. I would like to see someone being their most authentic extra self and have identified more as me from a young age. I would have appreciated it.
And so now somebody's in school and they come out and they get bullied or something doesn't, how do they speak to their friends, they speak to a counselor, they speak to a teacher, and they grow up in life and they meet the right people and life happens, and then do you feel that sometimes people feel they need to be gay or feel that they need to be lesbian because society is sort of pushing him in that direction? Bad actors in a play.
I mean,
I think some people will pretend.
Because it's a cool thing. It's a phase we're going through.
But can you like have sex with a phase?
I mean, but you just said you could go through different phases.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep with someone I'm not like attracted to, like their energy and their aura. Like I've done that before. Yeah.
I might go down history, but not on this.
I feel like it's the same as vaping. Just if you want to try it, but you might not stick to it. I don't know.
Stick to cigarettes.
That's a good question. Maybe it is fashionable for a bit.
It was a phase where everybody would say, I mean, Hollywood went through a phase where it was all these damn vampire movies. It's just Twilight.
I love that.
No, goodness, no.
Vampire Diaries.
No, I'm gonna educate you here. There was a brilliant English actor named Sir Christopher Lee, the original Dracula, and couple of years later, or many years later, there was a movie called Blade, where he would just slash the vampires. Wesley Snipes. Here we go. That's what a vampire movie is. There's blood, there's gore. Honestly, this Twilight, these kids look like they were anemic.
Running through the bush.
That's not vampires.
New school vegans.
But we did watch it.
A vegan vampire.
Yeah.
So we go through these phases, and maybe sometimes people go through these phases, and as you said, it's a phase they go through, they flip back, they go through, but overall...
Then they're probably bisexual.
How many genders are there? Because if you got LGBTQ, the letter B means bisexual, which means there's two. So but then how come we have multiple if there's two?
Okay. I firmly believe you get male, female.
I think that's where the
gay and straight.
But is,
in your case,
but is sexuality and gender
different? Yes, very.
Genders male and female.
Yeah, okay, genders male and female, we get that. Yeah.
I identify as a pansexual female.
Pansexual female, so you are attracted to anyone that has positive energy or energy that you're attracted to.
But they must also be smart. But and know how to manage money, please, for the love of God.
Because you can't handle money.
No, I'm so good at it.
You're so good at money.
But then, like the other part of it is I identify as a female. Whereas now some people could be non-binary and pansexual. Exactly. I think you have to make peace with not getting it all.
I don't understand it. I need a laptop to go through everything. It gets confused. The point is you live your life and you're not harming anybody. And that's okay.
I mean, with this LGBTQ2SS1, that was like two-spirited. That's something I have no information on.
What's that? I don't even know.
So it's like LGBTQ.
I plus. No, but then there's PP.
And then there's like a 2 and an S and an S. So this is, again, something I myself, as part of the community, I don't understand. But I would like to have thorough information,
I just think...
I sometimes have to Google it now. If
I
see something that'll talk on queer eye or something, then I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, Google, I'm like, shit, okay.
Yeah, because I see LGBTQT+, so I thought the plus is like the premium version.
Platinum gay.
Yeah, platinum gay. So the movement is pretty much normalized now. One of the things that I see is that you have like this Pride Month.
Don't do that.
But a lot of people now are like, okay, being gay or bisexual, whatever it is, it's normal. Why do we need to make a month to celebrate it? Why don't we celebrate me as a straight guy?
Because the straights get every day. We just take once in a year.
Because there's buildings that are multicolored and staircases that are all the different colors and everything like
Paris
that.
also
But you could be an ally. So you could be a part of the month. Shame, don't feel left out. I could get you some pansexual pom-poms. Like
I don't even know where to go with this, I think I think within the community, the LGBT community, there are some die-hard, hardcore political figures that are just pushing it, and the majority of people are, hey, we're just living our life.
But in the community, there's also liberals and conservatives. Yeah.
But you would assume everybody in that community is liberal. How would you be a conservative?
No, they are.
Give us an example.
I'm a little bit.
Yeah, you're a bit.
Yeah.
You have like
Yeah.
a pinch of conservatism on the top of your martini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like as liberal as they come. Like,
She's very more, if I
Oh,
can
I
say,
love
more
it.
open-minded
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm still of the older,
yeah.
yeah. I think it's how I grew up and grew
Yes.
up differently. So for
But
her, it's
also-
more acceptable
Yeah.
to accept everything.
Okay, so we have a boy that has transitioned to become a girl. What school would the girl go to? A girls' school or a
In
boys'
this town?
Yeah,
But in East London,
yeah, in East London.
Clarendon or Maryfield would be. Maryfield is
Maryfield.
very great. They have like amazing
Yeah.
LGBTQ platforms,
Okay,
support
okay.
don't you think
systems.
Lily?
Okay, but there are schools that they are. I
I
mean,
think
nobody
that
can
they-
turn you away
Yeah.
based on your sexual. But the
No,
one
I think some would.
would okay. Look, it's their discretion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's their right.
We should actually go and find out.
Yeah.
One of the things, though, that I find infuriating is that a man, an athlete, and you know where I'm going with this, will transition to become a woman. She now will enter all the women's sport, and they have a biological advantage. They're
not
stronger,
fair.
testosterone, bigger bone structure, bigger muscles, and these normal, I can't believe I'm saying this, but normal women who have worked their entire lives to get into the swimming team or cricket team or rugby team, they are going to get pummeled.
Pounded, yeah.
Pummeled. How do we find the middle ground here?
I don't agree with it because it's not fair. Women have fought for decades
Yeah.
for women's sports.
Yeah, absolutely,
And for
absolutely.
a trans person to come in and try and take it over, it's not. I don't feel it's right.
You have an unfair advantage.
unfair, yeah.
Because a man who becomes a woman, you're still going to have high testosterone,
Of course,
jaw
your bone
structure, bone
everything
structure.
is-
You're going to,
yeah.
you know, I mean, this is why you look at war on the front line. You normally have men fighting.
I mean, maybe if they had women, there'd be less wars.
No. I think if every country had a female president, there would be no war. There would just be a whole bunch of countries not talking to each other.
No, but when it comes to the sport
Facts.
things, I just say women's sports and men's sports need to stay like separate.
Separate, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm fat and I don't like exercising, so I'm just not going to get
We just
involved in
stand
this one.
drink.
But maybe then, you know, like as like a, you know, like a global issue, this needs to be flagged, and the people that they feel like have an unfair advantage, they need to figure it out. You know, it's like an institution, because they do need to be.
I mean, it's like the South
Accepting.
African athlete. What's,
Yeah, Justice Semenya.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of stories of him, her, they eat whatever.
Yes.
So I mean, it's all cleared
It's
out
a discussion that needs to be had, but there are instances where you can see somebody's taking advantage of the system.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and that's a bit
Do
unfair.
you think though that someone would go through top and bottom surgery for a system for like running? Like, I just can't
I
see
just-
it. Like, do you know how painful bottom? Imagine cutting off your panini.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ooh, or
just,
having my
Insert it.
to run a race and win a little medal. I don't know. I don't know
Because
about
there's some
that.
people
Ooh,
that
I
like-
don't
that
know.
convert and still
I
want
mean,
to do
I-
sport.
Not just
I-
for that though. It would be because they feel that little glimmer. You know, the little glimmers in there.
I had a
Would you
really
cut your trolley off to win a medal?
No way.
I had a really interesting discussion with somebody the other day saying, would I date a trans woman?
Female. They're so much hotter than us.
You know, so a man that has become a woman, would I date her?
With the surgery done or not?
We didn't get to that part of the conversation.
Okay,
That's really
Let's
Yeah,
say
concerned.
fully transitioned female.
What is fully transitioned female? So
She's had
Everything's
bottom
done.
surgery
So-
and she
so
took her
top and
panini
bottom
and turned it
surgery.
into a
so
clitoris.
a man becoming a woman, right? Nothing to do with the breasts. You would have breast implants.
Yeah.
They would cut your penis off,
And insert it.
and make it a clitoris.
but you would never have. Would you still be able to have an orgasm? Are you still not a
Oh
woman?
yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
all of the little key performance indicators are like strategically placed into.
But you
you
would-
know.
But you would never be able to have a child.
No.
You can't. You don't have a
No,
uterus.
I don't know
No.
about that.
No,
You
I mean
can't.
medically, a woman
can't.
has a child. You can never I mean, as far
That's
as
why
I
I say
know.
I'm not informed enough to know.
No, you can never, if you transition from male to female, you can never have kids.
But you can adopt.
I mean, of course you can
Yeah.
adopt. I'll put it this way.
That's why I always say, what
But
is a
they're
woman?
so hot. Like, you don't even understand how hot they are. I'm like, like, I need to, like, get on it. Like, I need to call my plastic surgeon. Like, I mean, whatever they're doing it so well.
Yeah, but the conversation we had was, I'm super conservative in that respect. I wouldn't date.
But you wouldn't know.
I'd find out eventually.
Yeah,
You'd find-
most probably.
I mean, part of the relationship, if any relationship, is trust. You know, there was a case.
What if you found like the hottest chick you've ever seen in your entire life?
Besides you,
like,
besides you.
Like I'm not. Like, you must see them. They're genetic. Like, oh, just gorgeous.
we
The
talking like
waistline,
Thailand,
like
Thailand,
area.
Thailand.
Oh, I mean,
Ping
just
pong land.
sensational. And you have the best night of your life. Are you gonna be bothered? I don't think so. Because let me tell you, they can work it.
I would be.
I wouldn't be bothered if I had like the perfect boobs in my face. I would be so happy. I mean, what?
And then
I'm being honest.
Yeah. What's the other side now? So then you get a woman that becomes a man.
I still need to figure that out.
Yeah,
Also,
so
it's
then
like,
they-
how do you get the penis?
Yeah. How
Apparently,
does
they grow it
No,
out.
you take like some kind of a pill, and then they turn your clit into a panine.
Really?
So it's like
I think
super
this is
functional.
going. Sometimes it's getting too far now. I mean, I have no problem when it comes
I
to
think
sexuality.
we need to YouTube these
videos. Google.
When it comes to sexuality, sleep who you want to sleep with, do it. But when it comes to changing your body, because that's irreversible now. Pretty much so.
Yeah.
Pretty much so. That's
An expensive procedure to reverse. I don't know, guys. Why are you so bothered?
No, I'm just saying because children in the United States under 18 can have the surgery.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to be over 18 to get a tattoo.
Yeah, but there's a TikTok family also, but
Yeah.
the little boy went to the parents. I mean, he's small, little, I think he's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he said to his parents, I'm a girl. And
think
they
that's-
literally busy with the whole transition.
I think if you've
Yeah.
done your due diligence and you know that that's authentically how your child's feeling without any swaying from any external forces, I think you need to give them the space to make that decision on their own and support
No,
it.
don't
I
think at that
disagree.
young
I
age,
disagree because
though.
a 5-year-old
Maybe
has
not
no
5,
idea.
but-
5-year-old. I mean,
Yeah.
even a 13-year-old child is going through so many sexual changes, hormone changes, puberty. They don't know what's going on. They don't know. I'd say 18.
Yeah.
If you're over 18, you can buy a gun, you can fire a gun, you can join the army, you can have a drink, then you can make the decision. But a 5-year-old kid telling his parents, I want to become a
Because
girl.
I'm just thinking, imagine you go back and you say to your parents, why did you allow me to do that?
Yeah.
It's,
don't
it's
know.
a very
parent-
deep debate.
Yeah.
It's a parent's duty to protect their child. And a 5-year-old has no idea. If you were to take R1 million and put it here and take 10 Smarties and put it here, I can guarantee you a 5-year-old's going to take the Smarties.
Yeah.
So you're not in a position to make a decision.
Yeah,
I
true.
definitely think that's something that will need to be regulated and like properly vetted. But
Just keep an eye on the kid.
Yeah.
As long as like when they're of a more sort of aware phase of their life, I feel like you should support your child.
But it's not a child, it's a baby. A 5-year-old is still a
it's
child.
still,
I mean, if you're put it this way, if your 13-year-old came to you and said, I now identify as a terrorist. I'm going to go to the Middle East and I'm gonna blow things up. You're going to say, what are you doing? That's not how we brought you up, you know? That's a reversible decision. You could always go to Syria or Baghdad or wherever it is and pull them back and, deep psychological. If your 13-year-old child came to you and said they want to be a terrorist, we would all say, absolutely not.
Lock
What
them in the
about if
room.
we started to say, help me to understand why?
That is a conversation. Yes, but the first point is you go to your room, and we will discuss this shortly.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, and don't go on the internet. Don't go on the internet.
What will the clubs think about it?
Yeah. So you get my point here. If we're too free, then anything and everything goes. And then where do we draw the line?
Why do they need to be lines?
You can't have 13-year-olds going to become terrorists.
You have to have some structure.
Yeah, there has to be
everything's got to be
No,
chaos.
your generation relies on structure.
Yeah. But our generation put men on the moon. We put women in space.
Did they though?
Goodness.
Did they though?
I mean, the average, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, he took, I think, 9 photographs. Right? The average woman going into a bathroom these days takes like 30 photographs.
Only if there's good lighting. No, guys, I just think that you must just chill. It's okay.
The problem is when you chill, things can get out of hand.
So what if they do?
Yeah, but it's the new generation that needs to look out for the future.
Yeah, the
That's
future
the
is
thing.
yours. The
If
future
you
is
just
But
let go and there's
imagine-
no structure, then this whole thing's
Now,
gonna be fucked.
okay, let me pour the tequila now.
Okay.
So, when you were coming out, how lovely would it have been if everyone was open and calm, not trying to push their agendas on you? Would have been easier, right? Same for me when I was telling my family, okay, I'm dating a woman now, and they were like, it's just a phase. It would have been easier for me to explore what I'm going through if it was open. So I feel like these constructs almost stimulate the antagonism.
But there's a big difference between choosing your sexuality and choosing your, even the gender thing, I'm not for that, but choosing your sexuality, let's have a conversation. But if you're saying anything goes, then what's to stop a child from saying, Mom, Dad, I now identify as a penguin. I'm not going to school today. You can drop me at the aquarium.
And imagine, actually, now that you mention that, I actually saw a story also on TikTok of this woman who's bitching and moaning about her daughter that went to school, but the child identifies seriously as a cat. So the school called her in and said, ma'am, we have to let the girl out of the school because she's mowing the whole day and it's literally disturbing the class.
Yeah.
And the woman literally wants to make a lawsuit against the school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
your daughter's a human. She's not a fucking cat. Like mowing in the class.
Just
I mean, no,
recently,
that's
to add on
stupid.
to that, there's a woman in the United States that is contemplating suing her vet because her son identifies as a cat as well.
Oh, Jesus.
So she took her son to the vet, and the vet rightly said, ma'am, I cannot operate on your child. I'm a vet legally, morally, ethically. I can't do it. If it's an
I can't afford
emergency,
the bills.
yes.
The
and now she
medical
wants to sue him. So I agree. So, we have to respect each other, but there has to be some limit. There has to
So
be
I
some
want to
limit.
understand from you two conservatives, one gay, one straight, what your core, uncut, stop filtering it, stop fluffing it. I want to know, dead ass, what your concern is.
My concern is that if you can be anything,
Where does it stop?
where does it stop? Because now can I identify as, I'm on camera, can I identify as a black lesbian? Can I really identify now as a black lesbian?
You guys are crazy.
That's exactly
But
the
there's
same
like
thing.
100 genders. You can identify as anything. Then where does the craziness stop?
I think the need to control the narrative is going to stimulate more of an undercurrent. I feel like if you let more people explore and you just say, let me understand, what do you need? Let me give you the space to explore. Don't you
But if
feel
they
like it's going to be
identify
more...
as a cat, how are they going to talk
But
to
wait,
me?
if you say to your cat, okay, let's say to the cat, meow, 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 back, isn't the child eventually going to be like, oh my God, my
But
mom is
the-
so
the-
annoying, meow, meow, meow,
Yeah,
meow, meow.
yeah.
I'm going to just talk. You know what I mean?
But
Give them
isn't
the
there-
space.
Isn't there a point where, look, let's be realistic here. If your child comes to you at any age and says, I identify as a cat, let's be perfectly honest here. That's a form of mental illness.
Buy a
That's a
sandbox.
form of mental illness, is it not?
Is it, or is it just like a little
Then
creativity?
are we going to buy them a sandbox?
Yeah.
Don't use my expensive toilet paper.
I mean, isn't that a form of mental illness? You hug the child, you
got a
comfort
purr.
them. Yeah, with a purr.
But I don't think we can compare these little, like I know we're having a laugh, but I don't think we can compare it to like what you identify your gender.
No,
or-
no,
No, we're
that's
just
fine.
talking about
But
the
you
silly
asked,
things.
why can't we just all be free and do whatever we want? And without structure, society falls down.
There needs
That's
to be-
it.
There needs to be a line.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of line here. You cannot change. If you want to change your sexuality, I've got no problem with that. If
What
you
about
want
a
to
squiggle instead of a line?
if you want to change your gender, if you're over 18, fine. But you cannot change your species.
No.
You can't change your species.
Like I love it. I'll be like, let me get you some cat ears, babes.
You
Like,
know, I'm a
catnip.
yeah.
I just feel that by doing that, it's the weaker way out. We must be strong. We must have stoic virtues. For example,
what's a stoic virtue?
Stoic virtue is a Greek philosophy that you should research it, everybody. It's how I live my life. It's you need to be calm. You need to practice detachment. The power of no is important. You need to look at your emotions, make decisions based on logic with the benefit of emotion. Don't be free floating. Be a stop sign.
Yeah.
Don't be a windsock that's just blowing everywhere. Stoicism. For example, I get the impression now that had we go to war, the men and women who fought in World War I and II, the women stayed back and built tanks and planes, send their husbands and their sons. And by the way, those men in World War I and II lied about their age just so that they'll go fight and destroy Hitler. Now men lie about their gender. So if you were to take the average person who's become fluffy and soft and said, you will storm the beaches of Normandy, I can guarantee you half of them are...
With a bow out.
I can't do that. They'll say, I can't storm the beaches of Normandy because I've got a shellfish allergy. It's like, where's the men? Where's the woman? Where's the structure? Yeah. I'm for exploring. I'm for, explore as much as you want, but there has to be a limit.
This is why my relationships with all the Greek men I dated never worked. Now we see where it comes from.
But if we're free floating, there's not going to be any structure in the world. There has to be something. What are your talking about structure and family and everything? How is your family with all of this? Are they?
I mean, they just are how they are. Yeah. Some of them just don't talk about it. They're just like,
but
they just glaze over it. I don't care whether they do or don't.
Okay.
We don't need the acceptance or the approval, but we'll take it anyway.
Yes, of course. Yeah. No,
I think that your need for control is something that goes deeper. I feel like if we let people just be free, if you gave the people the opportunity to be everything or to be anything, they wouldn't choose to be everything. You know what I'm saying? So let them explore all the little spheres.
Let them explore,
and then they'll
but
calm
don't
it down.
let it influence the future, if that makes sense. For example, the cat story, if we can go back there quickly. So the child disturbing the classroom.
Why are you so obsessed with cats?
No. Okay, let's say the snake.
Okay,
They're disturbing the class for education, educational purposes. So get rid of it. Because, the young children are now the future. Unfortunately, South Africa's pass rate is what? 35?
It's
40%?
Terrible.
So can you imagine in 20 years from now, you need to go see a doctor. You don't know what their pass rate was.
Yeah.
Do they have matric? Are they qualified doctors, PhDs, or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Are they educated well enough?
Yeah, education is a huge problem in our country. And, on the podcast, we spoke to a couple of students in university down the road at Fort Hare. Some of them are lost. The education system is failing them. The university system is failing them. And it's not their fault. They want to do something great in the world. But like most people, I'll tell you now, if I have a heart attack or, heaven forbid, some medical problem, I actually don't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're lesbian, gay,
trans,
whatever.
Kitty cat.
No, kitty cat, I'm on the line. But I just want you to be, if you put your hands into
just show your certificates first.
If you put your hands into my chest cavity to restart my heart, just be the best goddamn doctor money can buy. The closer, put it this way, the closer we get to reality, the more clearer the gender roles become. Because I'm telling you now, Ukraine, it's the men that are fighting, and the women are gone, to safety. If I were to take 100 men and put them on an island, take 100 women, put them on an island, and take 100 children, I can absolutely guarantee you that probably 99 to 100% of the women are going to look after the children, and the men are going to start building shelters. The closer you get to the brutality of reality, the closer the gender become.
You're going to help build houses.
It's not really like my forte, my nails,
I do believe that we've become softer and we've become weaker as a society. And it's got nothing really to do with the gender thing. But generally, We've become softer. You see
It's
something.
changed a lot.
Yeah. You see something on TikTok or Facebook. You don't know the person from a bar of soap. They write a comment. It upsets your day. Now you've got to. You have these keyboard.
I'll draw a parallel here. So they're softer in your narrative. And in my narrative, they're stronger. We have like these people who are like, I am gay. I am non-binary. I am a kitty cat. Meow. You know, like I think that does take strength. So while it might not be in the old school,
Old school has worked for
in
us.
this new way, has it though? Has it
This room, this internet, we can do heart surgery. There's problems in the world, but generally the world is okay. It's a great world. It's a
But I
great
must say,
world.
if I look, since I was in school, when I finished, till now, shit's changed.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is. It's
It's
changed for the
scary.
worse. It's
I
changed
don't know.
for
I'm
the
like
worse.
down for this evolution. I'm like, yes, team rainbow, kitty cat, meow, sneaky snake. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna phone you one of these days, and if you need a.
You know what? Let's do this. Like, let's go into the jungle. I'm down to rough it. Like, let's see what this little pansexual girl can do.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, if my house is on fire.
I know how to extinguish a fire.
That's- yeah,
Fire.
yeah,
Power.
yeah,
A
fire.
power.
Grab furniture and run.
Yeah. I want the strongest male firefighter to come and rescue me and my family.
And
But
good
he's
looking.
too big. He
That's-
cannot get to you under your bed hiding there. You need a little stud lesbian to just pull you out.
I'm going to ruffle feathers here. Men and women there's different genders and there's different roles. Men are good at certain things and women are good at certain things.
What are men good at?
Fighting, building, looking after infrastructure, providing for their families. I'm not saying
Cheating on
women
their
don't do that,
wives.
but men generally do the physical stuff. If I'm dying and I have a nurse, I'd like it to be a female nurse. It's just that femininity, that quietness. If you put the ice cubes on my mouth and do this, if I'm
You
last
could do it too. Calm down, Daddy.
yeah. Is it not? I can guarantee you now, if you're going to hire a babysitter for your son, 9 out of 9 couples are going to get a female babysitter. It's just, isn't it? If you had a niece and nephew and they were going to get a babysitter, wouldn't you want a female babysitter?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'll
right.
just
No,
call
no.
you. I'd be like, hey, babes, can you look after the kids, please?
You've got to admit that no matter which way the waves go and the intergender and the intersex, men and women have different roles. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've been living like this for eons and it's been great. It's been great. And maybe, yes, things are changing and maybe it
You
takes...
get a lot of women also in construction and stuff nowadays.
Oh, I love that.
It's quite good.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm all
But what
for...
you're saying, yeah.
I'm all for the world changing, but maybe a bit more gradual. This is a big shock to the system. It's a big shock to everybody,
I don't know. I'll tell you like what my psychic said. You should just surrender and go with the current,
Oh,
and you'll wash up where you need to be. Flow like aquamarine.
That's...
That's exactly what
Or
the lady in
Aquaman.
Hogsback.
Or Aquaman. 'Cause
Yeah.
so you go to a psychic.
No, I just went to the Crystal Lady in Hogsback.
Oh,
It was a
yeah,
vibe.
yes, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
great.
You should go.
It's a...
You should really go.
I can see.
I can lend you a crystal. It'll make you
ball.
very calm. Yeah.
So look, it's a fun conversation. It's a happy conversation. We're discussing different things, and it's good to have these conversations because we open up different ideas and different avenues. I always say, like being in the Man in the Arena, you hear and you take 2 steps forward, and you say, okay, this is how the world looks this way. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I take 2 steps back, and maybe from that 2 steps forward, I can take another side step. It's fine. There's a difference between perception and perspective. The world, I agree with you, the world is moving, and if we stay here, we're looking at it from a different point of view. We've got to move with the times as well, but there's got to be a limit somewhere. I think that's where we're going.
There has to be.
I just feel like if you are watching this and you are wild and you are experimenting and your brightness is bothering the conservatives, just send them a pair of sunglasses because, honeys,
Your future is too bright.
just keep slaying. I mean, kitty cats and all.
Yeah, no, it's nice to meet and have these conversations with people like yourself because it actually makes my day. It's like the conversation we're having, and people are watching this, and they're laughing, and they're smiling, and they're thinking about it, and it's.
But I think it's also like you being liberal, me being sort of.
Yeah, I'm the most conservative here.
You're conservative-ish.
Yeah. I mean, we get along like a house of
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, and that's the point. That's the point. I mean, that's exactly the point. Super liberal, mildly conservative, proper conservative, and we're having a conversation and we're enjoying it, and we.
But that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you need to be pro-gay, pro-trans, pro-whatever. You don't need to be, running at the front and pulling the whole team behind you, but just don't be that person blockading their progress or not giving them that space to explore. So if I met someone that identified as a kitty cat, I would just give them like a little meow, honey, like, let them be, like it's fine.
That's not the pussy I'm interested in. Really.
I think just be your true self, but to a certain degree.
Yeah. Look, like anything in life, there's a limit. There's a limit. I mean, you're not going to order everything off the buffet.
No.
So, yeah.
I would probably.
Yeah. Well, you.
I like eating.
Yeah. The conversation's been great. That's the whole point. Speak to your friends, speak to your family, have these conversations. Don't shy away from it. I think we're definitely going to get you and your entire gaggle.
A gaggle of gays.
Gaggle of gays on the show again. It'll be great. So everybody watching out there, this has been a fun interview. It's been an interesting interview. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely think about that. So the next time I'm speeding and I get pulled over by a cop, I'm gonna say, "But officer, I identify somebody that wasn't speeding," and see what happens then.
Try.
Anyway, everybody, hope you have a great day. It's been a fun podcast, interesting podcast. We're definitely going to have them on the show again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us. Have a great one, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.